Alright, so today we're going to actually find results from dividing decimals and whole numbers. So objective, dividing decimals and whole numbers. The language objective is the same as yesterday. We're still making sure we're using our proper terms, the divisor and the dividend, and the quotient. So I just like to go over that quickly one more time. We went over it yesterday, but just a quick review. So the thing that people get confused between is the dividend and the divisor. So you want to think back to your Greek and Latin, which you will get your Greek and Latin roots, which you'll start getting in Mrs. Brandt's class. But the iser part, the divisor, is kind of got a whole bunch of options. It's somebody who does something or something that has an action. Okay, that or an isor. So the divisor is telling you how many groups you're going to split your big number into, whatever number it is. So like a supervisor tell people what they need to be doing, a janitor makes sure they're getting everything done, a victor is doing the winning, the dictator is doing the decision making, and the divisor is doing the dividing. So they're all doing something, and the divisor for us is telling us how many groups we need. Okay, so divisor is the one that we're split, that's doing the cutting. Now if you want to grab your foldable and take some time to write down these steps. We're not going to use all of these today, but I'm going to have you write them all down today. So pause the video and write down the steps in your divisor tab. Okay, so the steps are estimate, move the decimal and the divisor to the wall and do the exact same with the dividend and rewrite. Step 2 and 3 we'll do in the next lesson. Today we're going to focus on bringing the decimal up, dividing the digits. We'll annex the zeros if we need to, and we're not going to deal with remainders right now. And then of course check your answer by comparing to the estimate. So let's see what that actually all means. So 6 8/10 divided by 2. So 2 groups is what we're going to have when we're done. So I'm going to rewrite this. This is my divisor. And the divisor always goes outside the house. So it's kind of like backwards. So 2 divided by 6 8/10. First thing we need to do is estimate. So I'm going to do that off to the side. So it's about, it's kind of like 7 or 6, maybe you could even go 7 divided by 2. I think most of you could do 7 divided by 2 in your head. That's 3.5, so we're somewhere in there. Okay, we only have to move the decimal in the divisor to the wall if we have one outside. We don't, so we're not going to do step 2. We're not going to rewrite since we didn't make a mess. And what we're going to do is make sure we bring our decimal right up to our line. So take your decimal and we're going to pull it out of our problem and bring it straight up to our answer. That way we know where it is. We have something above the 6, we'll have a decimal, we'll have something above the 8, and if we need to, we have as many somethings after that as we need. Okay? So it's sometimes helpful to put these little dashes so you know what to fill in. Of course, I put a whole bunch of extra. We might need them if we have to annex zeros, but we'll see about that. So make sure you know that there's one before and one after, at the very least. So now go ahead and do your actual dividing. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6, and subtract 6 minus 6 is 0 and bring down your 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 times 4 is 8. So that one, we have no remainders, so we have nothing to worry about there. And we know that it's about a 3 4/10, and that is close to our estimate of 3 5/10. Okay, you try doing these 3 on the back of your foldable. Raise your hand when you're done. So pause the video, try these 3, raise your hand when you're done. Now, let's just do a couple others because we're going to run into some other problems when we're doing this. So, 7 and 7/10 divided by 14. Now, think about that. 7 and divided by 14. If I have about 8 people divided by 14, am I going to have whole people if I start splitting them into 14? Nope. So it's something smaller than 1. Because we don't have enough pieces here. We don't have 14 pieces. Okay? So that's going to be our estimate for this one. Because it's something smaller than 1. So now we go ahead and try to do the dividing. I'm going to rewrite it. Now don't get confused. The divisor is doing the dividing, so that's outside the house. And 7 and 7/10 is inside the house. Okay? So now we've estimated. We don't have a decimal on the outside, so we're not going to do that. We don't have to rewrite, so we're not going to do that. We're going to bring the decimal up so we can figure out kind of where it is in our answer. So bring it right up there. We have a place before and after at the very least. So now it's 14 into 7. I can't do that. Don't forget to put your 0 there. That's a place value holder. We're not going to be doing that evenly. So now it's 14 into 77. I don't know all my multiples of 14, so this is where you start kind of thinking and guessing and checking. So here's my thinking over here. Well, 14 to get to 77, probably more than 2, so I'm just going to go ahead and try 14 times 3 and see what happens. 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1, 3 times 1 is 3, that's 42. I can probably do something higher, so don't erase that because you might need that for later. So 14 times 4, 16, carry the 1, so that's 56. I might be able to do one more. 14 times 5 is 20. 5 plus 2 is 7. Oh, 70. I still can do one more yet, but I know I won't be able to do a whole. This one will be way more. That's too much. We don't want to go over our number. So now we know that 14 is going to go into 77 5 times evenly and then have some extra. So 14 times 5, look, we already did that. It's over here. So that's 70. And we have 7 remaining. We're not going to use remainders. If you have a remainder, remember to annex that 0 and keep going. You're not done yet. But it should be all right. We have 14 into 70, which we already know is 5. So 5 times 5 is 70, and then we got to our 0. So we have a final answer of 55 hundredths. Okay, let's do one more like that. Separate that out. All right, 9 and 48 hundredths divided by 15. Again, there is not enough here to divide by 15, so I know that it's smaller than 1. That's my estimate right there. Oh, I didn't check my last one. Oh, was it smaller than 1? Yes, okay, good. Alright, where were we? So, I know it's going to be smaller than 1 because I don't have 15 here to divide up. So, now here we go. 15 is your divisor, so, since it's on the second part. And then 9.48. Okay. We don't have to do step 2 and 3 today, so just go ahead and move that up on there. And now we can think of this as 948 or 94 or 9 or whatever we need to in order to figure out our answer. 15 into 9 is not going to work, so put your placeholder there. 15 into 94, that will work, but I don't know exactly how. So again, off to the side, do a little scratch work. So 15 times, I don't know. Well, I know 15 and 15 is 30, and 30 goes into 93 times. So I'm going to try 6. 15 times 6, so 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, 90. And I know I'm not going to be able to go over. I got lucky on that one. So 15 goes into 94 6-ish times. A little more than 6. So 6 times 15 is 90. Minus, so 94 minus 90 is 4. And I'm going to drop my 8 down. 15 into 48. Well, it's definitely less than 6, so let me try something else. How about I try 3? 15 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 45. That's good. So, because it's only 3 away. It's not 15 away. Alright, so 15 goes into 48 3 times. 3 times 15 is 45. So what do I have left after I've done that? Well, I have 3 left. Well, I can't stop there. So make sure and annex your 0 to find your final. You might have to annex your 0 more than once. So make sure you annex as many zeros as you need. 15 to 30, well, I know that 15 times 2 is 30. If you don't, you can check it just like we've been doing. So 15 into 30 is 2, and I know that's perfect, so that's nice, because we're done. So it's 632 thousandths. Is that smaller than 1? Yes. So I know I'm on the right track. Pause the video and try 2 problems. Okay, we're going to do 1-word problem from your homework. Look, I wrote a note to myself. Don't let me forget to hand out the worksheet now. So pause the video, hand out the worksheet. We're going to do, there's 3-word problems on the bottom, and we're going to do the one that says 2. So there are 25 servings in a 12.5 ounce bottle of olive oil. How many ounces are in a serving? This is a hard one to read because if you don't know what about servings and stuff like that, this might be confusing for you. Remember, on the back of any bottle or anything, there's a nutrition label. So I know there are 25 servings in a 12.5 ounce bottle. That means that I can pour it out 25 times and I'll have an exact amount. But I don't know how many ounces are in one of those 25. So that means I need to divide, because it's kind of like I'm taking my olive oil bottle and splitting it into 25 tiny little cups. I know it's tiny because that's 12.5, that's not very much. So I could draw 25 here and we could figure it out, but just think that there's 25 small servings in this bottle. So we're splitting it up, which means I'm dividing. So which way? Well, I'm taking my whole bottle here and splitting into 25 of these little guys. So 25 is how many groups we'll have into 12.5. Again, this is another one of those funny ones. There's more servings than there are ounces in the bottle. So I know that it's less than 1 ounce. So I did my estimating over there, and now I can go ahead and divide. So you go ahead, divide, and you can check your answer with the answer key. Don't forget to write your answer as a sentence. And then you can go ahead and continue working on your worksheet. However, looking at this worksheet, there's probably not enough room on this worksheet for you to do all of that work that I expect. So get out a piece of paper, put your name at the top, label it, have an answer column, and do your work on a separate sheet of paper. Get to work.